Prognosis, prognosis, prognosis.
Hey, finally, I'm going to do a review of the Ferrofish B4000 Plus. I had to lay down some tracks this weekend, actually a track or two, using an organ sound. And since I had to get this out and work it for that, I thought perfect time to go ahead and do the review. I will try and keep this to about 10 minutes, including this monologue. And basically I want to go over some of the functionality of the screen, see how the interface, the operating system works, look at the little teeny LED screen that's extremely nice when you can see it, and some of the pluses and minuses that I've discovered while I'm using it. And play you some of the sounds so you get a feel for how the controls work and how they affect the sound and stuff. So I will be using a Roland FA06 to control it. None of the sounds will be coming from the Roland. It'll strictly be coming from the Ferrofish B4000 Plus. So sit back and enjoy. Oh, and this is a Murphy's Red in a Guinness glass. That's allowable, I think. Okay, the interesting thing about the Ferrofish is it is very good for laying out your splits. You can have a upper manual, a lower manual, and pedals. It actually has two MIDI inputs. I guess the second one's for pedals, since usually they're not always connected to the main manuals. You can set it up in splits through your controlling keyboard or through the actual Ferrofish itself. So anyway, you can control the different parameters for the different manuals, the upper, lower, the pedal. You can actually go in and change you can actually go in and change the drawbar settings for each of the different manuals, the levels, the pedal, the lower, the upper. Now, if you take all the drawbars off, you still have the percussion click. Rotary Effect can be controlled by a pedal, does not have to be a latching pedal. You can also control the lower register. Now, of course, the unfortunate part is if you're changing the settings for run one register, these don't manually switch back to what they were for the other register. But the display does show, the little LED display, which you can't see, unfortunately, does show what the settings are supposed to be. So right now that's the lower manual. And you can control the click, the key click, the crunch, the drive. There's a setting called condition, which deals with, I guess, the aging quality of a Hammond B3, leakage, tuning. Those are all the parameters under just the sound. Now it's interesting to note the way the menu works is each of these, sound, percussion, tone, rotor, horn, bass. Each of these, if you select sound here with this button, each of these knobs up here controls the item that goes across from sound. This knob, if you choose sound here, this knob controls the click of the sound. This knob controls the crunch of the sound, and it's listed. There's a nice little table. I think Waldorf has kind of a similar menu system for their synths. Another German company, by the way, Ferrofish is a German company, and that works fairly well if you have the time to go through it and play with it. On stage, dorking around in practice, I've noticed that it's not always so easy to work with. But it's effective. It gets you most of the parameters you want, and it has some awesome kind of sounds for it. Real quick, it does still have a pedal register, so if you want to, sculpt your pedal tones too, up to the 2-foot partial, and I admit I'm mostly a single hand player on the keyboard, so for me it's not so critical using the bass pedal. Okay, let's go through some of the settings. Again, sound has let's go ahead and turn down the distortion of the drive. Click setting. Don't know if you can hear it. Crunch. That's different from the drive. That's kind of a lower, the high end's rolled off on that. Then you have the normal drive effect. Which can get fairly deep purplish. Doesn't sound bad at all. Condition, again, I'll have to go in the manual for that. Leakage, tuning, these are all options on the first one. Percussion, that is a very good one. We'll give you a demo on that. This does show you the, let's turn the drive off first. Go to percussion. This lets you control whether it's on or off. The level, the harmonic, the attack, the decay, now if you take all the drawbars down, you can hear just the percussion playing. So you can change the attack, again the decay, the harmonic of the percussion. Anyway, awesome, lots of control. I've been incredibly pleased with it. Again, I'm no Hammond B3 expert, but for me and what I'm doing, kind of playing with a classic late 60s, early 70s rock cover band. It's been extremely good. No complaints. Presets that's sometimes a problem. The way you play presets is you hit this little button right here, and then you fiddle with this little knob. And let me tell you, when you're playing and you're trying to look down and read the little text on here to figure out which setting or song it's on or which patch, it's kind of problematic. I admit I have like 2 or 3 that I use, and then the rest I kind of just sculpt on the fly. But a little frustrating in ways to use live and know exactly where you're going. Last point, it does freeze up occasionally. I've had it freeze up on me at least twice where I had to repower down and power back up. Not sure what the cause was, if maybe you got some bad MIDI commands from the master keyboard or the control keyboard, or what the situation was. The thing's built extremely solid. This is all metal, metal underneath here. The drawbars all have little click detents in them. It's, you can hear that. Very nice to work with. The back, again, has 2 MIDI ends, a MIDI A, MIDI B. It's got USB. I don't know if the USB is for anything other than operating or updating the operating system. It has a pedal input, I assume for volume control and whatever other parameters. It has the switch. It has an audio in, so you can actually run something into it and through the effects. And the effects have compression, chorus, some reverb, all fairly decent. I mean, you can hear the reverb there. Decent enough quality. And headphones. The audio out is actually a stereo tip ring sleeve 1/4-inch jack. So if you want to do stereo, you don't have a left and a right. You have to have again, a tip ring sleeve split Y cable. And other than that, it has been extremely nice. I've really enjoyed it for the price compared to my Nord Electro 2, which I paid well over $1,000 for. This thing was, I think, around $500, half the price. Granted, this doesn't have electric pianos and clavs and a couple other things, but I think the B3 modeling's much more effective, much more on target than the Electro 2. Of course, that being said, Nord has released the Electro 3 and Electro 4, so maybe they're doing a lot better, and I just don't know because I haven't played with those. Again, all in all, I've talked about some of the positives, some of the negatives. That little screen is a fabulous summary of information. It's just hard to read at times. The buttons allow a lot of control, but they're kind of small and kind of particular to work with, especially in sort of a live setting, as well as selecting presets that can be problematic if you're kind of frantic going from song to song. But I think it's worth the price. They did a really awesome job. You get a lot of parameter control there. Again, I'm not the best person to say this is a fabulous Clonewheel emulation of a B4 or B3, but I'm digging it, especially for the price. Cheers.